With Toy Story 4 winning the Best Animated Feature at this year's Oscars, there are 19 Best Animated Feature winners, so it's time to rank them from worst to best. Hey everybody, my name is Justin. I love to watch movies. If you guys love to watch movies too, you guys are in the right spot. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming videos. Today we're going to be ranking all 19 of the Best Animated Feature Film winners from worst to best. This category started at the Oscars in 2002 for the films released in 2001, and the first Oscar winner was Shrek. Our most recent one being Toy Story 4. So throughout the years, we've got plenty of Disney and Pixar ones. We got a few ones that are not Disney and Pixar throughout there, like Spiderman, Into the SpiderVerse, Wallace and Gromit, and Happy Feet. All these films are good in their own way. Obviously, they won Best Animated Feature Film at the Oscars, so people think that they're good films. I do enjoy each one in a different way, so I'm excited to talk about all 19. Coming at number 19 is Happy Feet. Happy Feet is a very energetic, adorable film that I have seen a few times, and every time I watch it, I just can't get into this movie that much. It feels very different from all the other Best Animated Feature Film winners. It stands apart easily at number 19. It's an energetic film with a good soundtrack, a good voice cast as well, but it's a film that I find to be very repetitive and not that enjoyable. I do enjoy some elements to this movie, mostly the animation and some of the musical moments, but it's this film that I just can't get involved with the story, some of the characters, as well as some of the repetitive music throughout, and it just feels so completely different from the other 18 films that I'm going to talk about. Coming at number 18 is Rango. Rango is a good-looking film with a great voice cast with Johnny Depp leading a very outlandish character. I like the setting for this movie. I like the style of animation. I like that it's not just a kids movie, it's a little bit darker than that. But much like Happy Feet, it's a story that I just can't get too invested in. I don't find much of this movie to have that emotional punch or some entertaining moments or just something truly memorable about the movie besides the animation and Johnny Depp. I like those moments within the movie. Those are really, really outstanding parts of the movie. But besides that, I just don't care much about Rango. Coming at number 17 is Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I love this duo. They are adorable, and you could tell that such hard work went into creating this movie. Every single scene is breathtaking, and it allows for the creators behind this movie to really put a personality into the movie. It's a fun film. I do enjoy Wallace and Gromit as characters. They're very lovable. They are a very lovable duo. And there's a lot of comedic moments within this film, and it looks great to me. But much like Rango and Happy Feet, it's not as memorable as the upcoming ones that I'm going to talk about. Coming in at number 16 is Ratatouille. Ratatouille, I know a lot of people like, but it's just not one of my favorite Pixar movies. I don't find the main character, the guy who is the chef, to be that fun of a character. I really don't care much about him. I like the rat within this movie. I find him to be enjoyable. I like the voice acting within the movie. It's a story that I could get behind. I enjoyed their relationship and their chemistry within the movie. It's charming at times. Most of the jokes for me just do not land. I don't find Ratatouille to be that funny. I do enjoy the storyline and some of the characters within this movie, but at times it's a really dull film that I remember seeing in theaters and then my mom purchasing it on DVD because she just purchased every single Disney Pixar film ever. I've seen it plenty of times, but it's a movie that I just don't find to be that fun. Coming in at number 15 is WALLE. WALLE is an adorable film, and I know a lot of people regard it as one of the best Pixar films. It's a movie that has a really good message within it and a really good progression of its story, and WALLE is an adorable character. Him being very lonely and then meeting Eve leads to a very nice pairing in Pixar films. The animation is beautiful. It's a very energetic, quickly paced movie with a lot of great jokes and a lot of great animation, and just one of the more adorable characters from Pixar. Coming in at number 14 is Brave. I know a lot of people do not like Brave. I find this movie to be really enjoyable. I remember seeing it in theaters and immediately wanting to buy it on Blu-ray when it was released. I like the character of Merida. I like her story within this movie. The story for the overall film of Brave, I don't find to be that well written and engaging. I'd really rather have focused on Merida instead of focusing on her mom turning into a bear. I think if they had the story just structured a bit differently, it would have been a lot better. But I love the voice work in here. The animation is great. I love the style of the movie, and Merida is one of the best Pixar characters for me. Coming in at number 13 is Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 is a good Toy Story film. It's easily my least favorite of the 4 films. It kind of changes things what you would expect because of the ending of Toy Story 3 and how it had just a really nice wrap up for the story. But they wanted to bring it back. We have Forky and then a change of character for Woody. Maybe scratching my head a little bit and wondering why was Toy Story 4 even necessary in the first place. Nonetheless, I think it's a fun film with some good animation within it. I love the voice cast behind everybody. Forky is a good addition to the story, and how Woody kind of has to babysit Forky, which added for a lot of fun moments within the movie. But overall, Toy Story 4 was a bit of a disappointment for me, but still a good Toy Story film, but easily the worst of the 4. Coming in at number 12 is Coco. Coco is a Pixar movie that made me cry. The end is so touching and so sweet, and just has that emotional punch within the movie. It's a story that I was so invested in and so engaged. I wanted to see how it was going to progress. And Miguel within the film is a really lovable character. I love the exploration of this place that Miguel is going to and him meeting his ancestors. It leads to a lot of fun moments and a lot of self-discovery as well. I love the message about family within this movie. It was handled so well. The mixture of emotions within it, comedy, action, it all worked well and is one of the best Pixar films. Coming in number 11 is Frozen. Frozen was a huge success, and Frozen 2 was a great success as well. The music in here is iconic, and it's been played throughout the years many times by many kids. It's just that big. Frozen had such a big impact on pop culture, and rightly so. It's a good film. It feels like a classic Disney movie with its characters, with its setting, with its story about love and family. I think it all fits the classic Disney formula very well, while adding some new style within it. New characters like Olaf and Sven were side characters that I found to be really enjoyable, but our main characters, Anna and Elsa, are characters that have this conflict with each other, and they don't have the best sister relationship, but it really wants to work itself out within the movie. They are definitely trying to progress and to get to that relationship that they hope for, and I love a lot of those moments. They're just not giving up on each other. They're trying to get back to how they used to be when they were younger, and I love that story because a lot of times they do feel distant in the movie, and you kind of see that struggle amongst them, but they are trying to get to a better relationship, and I love that part of the movie. Coming in number 10 is Zootopia. Zootopia was a huge surprise for me. I love the duo of predator and prey and them trying to understand each other. The world building of Zootopia is magnificent. I love all the different locations for Zootopia and the different animals that we see and how they kind of just interact with each other and go about their daily lives. It reminds me a lot of Monsters, Inc., where you have monsters living in this world and seeing them live their daily lives. You have that with Zootopia, and they are going about their lives. So it's fun to watch all these different animals do different things. And I think that they had a lot of fun creating these different characters and placing them in this world. Coming in at number 9 is Inside Out. Inside Out is a clever Pixar film with a great voice cast, great character designs, and such a fun story with all these different emotions within your head that are controlling how you go about your day, and seeing how they control the emotions, and then how the human, like Riley, reacts to that is a lot of fun. Seeing how maybe anger is controlling everything, and then Riley's angry, or sadness. You get the point. But it's a fun movie that when we had joy and sadness go off on their own, Riley never felt joyful and she never felt sad either. So she had just those 3 other emotions within the movie. And it's a fun journey for our 2 characters, polar opposite emotions, trying to understand each other. And Inside Out had a lot to say about controlling your emotions, emotion management, and everything. And it's a clever Pixar film. It's one of the better stories for a Pixar movie, and I really do enjoy the overall story, characters, animation within Inside Out. Coming in at number 8 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's everything you would want from a Spider-Man film. Other versions of Spider-Man. You have Miles Morales in here, you have an older Peter Parker, you have so many different versions of Spider-Man, and it all is just a blast. You have the different... Bringing them in allows for you to understand the character of Spider-Man a lot more, and really do appreciate the designs for the characters and the different versions of him. They took a realistic approach, honestly, with Peter Parker and where he is at within his life. A lot of things have gone wrong for the guy, and he is now a much older character, but he still has that drive to be Spider-Man, and just captures everything you love about Peter Parker within this movie. And Miles Morales is a character that I've enjoyed throughout the years, so it was fun to see him in a movie, even if it was in an animated form. And there was a lot of emotions within, and there's a lot of emotions within his character following that similar Peter Parker kind of formula, where he thinks that, he may not be worthy of Spider-Man, and a lot of things are challenging him, and then he's trying to overcome that. Miles Morales goes through that very much within this movie, and the journey with him trying to become Spider-Man is a fun one. The villains within here, from Doc Ock and the Green Goblin, are unique, and the animation has such a unique comic book style to it that stands apart from really any animated film that is on this list. Coming in at number 7 is Big Hero 6. Big Hero 6 is such a fun film. I saw it a few times in theaters, and I love the character of Baymax. Easily one of the more adorable Disney characters, and his relationship with Hero is one of the better relationships from Disney films. I love their relationship and how Baymax is able to be there for Hero, and Hero is having all these emotions with losing his brother and trying to get answers for certain things. I love the mystery within this film, and the team up moments, as well as all of his friends kind of get these equipment to become like superheroes, and it is a blast to see them all interact with each other. And the animation is bright, it's very colorful. The world, San Fran, Tokyo, I believe is the name, mixture of San Francisco and Tokyo, was so well put together. Coming in at number 6 is Up. Up right away had that emotional punch, and it never really let go. By having that really strong opening allows for you to get really invested within Carl's storyline and his journey to take his house somewhere else where him and his wife wanted to visit. And along the way, there's a lot of mishaps, obviously, and we get to meet some new characters, and there's a lot of things that are stopping him, and he never gives up. And that's the best part of the movie, is that he is so determined just to take his house, place it somewhere where him and his wife just want it to be. And it's really sweet all throughout the film. Even if there's an action scene or some comedic moments, you still honestly feel connected to that opening sequence and him trying to get his house somewhere. It's a sweet storyline. It's very emotional. It's very funny. I love the characters within it. Doug, as the dog that talks, is so iconic. Up is a movie that has it all and has that strong emotional punch to really get you connected with the film. Coming in at number 5 is Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is a blast. Finding Dory was pretty good, but Finding Nemo, my God, it's one of those films that I saw when I was younger, and you kind of just see it so much that it just becomes like part of you. I've seen Finding Nemo plenty of times, but Marlin and Dory within this movie, as Marlin's trying to save his son. Finding Nemo is filled with plenty of fun characters and a lot of great animation, a lot of fun moments, and Finding Nemo is easily the most memorable film of this list. Coming in at number 4 is The Incredibles. The Incredibles is a fun superhero film about a family that really feels like a family. They all sit down and have dinner together, they go to school, they have their jobs. It feels like your typical family, but they have powers. Some may be really strong, some can turn invisible, some can run really fast. And I love that approach to just make it feel like a really typical family, but have a different element to it. And it makes it a relatable film, minus the superhero aspect of the movie, is that average people can do extraordinary things as well. The Incredibles has a lot of great action moments, and some of the best moments are when the family is together, because these young kids never really get to be in some of these situations, so you can feel their excitement to fight alongside their parents. And so it just makes the moments within this film really energetic and a lot of fun. Jack is a really adorable character that got a lot to do with in the second film, which I was really happy with. But The Incredibles, I love every single character within this movie, and that's why it makes those moments, them all together, so much fun, because you just really adore them individually. Coming in at number 3 is Shrek. Shrek was the first film to win Best Animated Feature Film, and it's one of the few non-Pixar or Disney movies within this list. Shrek is just a hilarious film. I remember watching this film so much growing up. Mike Myers as Shrek is top-notch voice acting. It's so perfect. Eddie Murphy as Donkey is hilarious, and it's kind of similar to Dory and Marlin, where Shrek just has one agenda, and he gets angry quite often, and Donkey is very silly, kind of just there and just tags along, and they don't have the best relationship, but it kind of progresses to where they understand each other and they want to be around each other. And it kind of reminds me of that, but Shrek is such a fun film. It's a clever movie that takes fairy tale creatures that we've seen before, like the Three Little Pigs and Pinocchio and the Gingerbread Man, and puts them within this movie, and it has a different twist with it, and I just laugh constantly. Coming in at number 2 is Spirited Away. It is a movie that is so iconic, from Hayao Miyazaki. The world building, the weird creatures, the story, everything about this just screams Hayao Miyazaki and has his special touch within it. It's a movie that's progression increasingly builds on top of each other while also adding to this world that this young girl is in. The animation is breathtaking. All of the moments within here are so beautiful, and it spawned some iconic moments. And the film gets very odd at times, but always manages to make it sincere and have the character kind of progress as well, and her always being interested in what is going on. Even though she's scared to be in this new world, she's always interested and curious about something, and it makes it for a fun character to watch. Spirited Away is a beautiful film, but coming in at number 1 is my favorite animated film of all time, and that is Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 is a breathtakingly masterpiece. I love every moment of Toy Story 4. It's in my top 10 favorite films of all time. Has those emotional moments at the end that make you cry, the comedy from everybody, the new characters, a lot of great action scenes, a lot of great animation, voice cast from Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. Everything within this movie works. And building up to where we are now within this storyline with Toy Story 3, and having our characters and Andy being a little bit older and him not wanting to play with them anymore, it's realistic but also heartbreaking because these toys are waiting to be played with. It's so crazy that we have a film with toys that have human characteristics and human feelings, and they get sad too when they are not being played with. It's so heartbreaking that they just sit there, and then when the end moment with Bonnie, it's very heartwarming, and you see why they made a Toy Story 4, even though if it felt unnecessary because of the wrap up from this film. But it has those emotional moments at the end because Woody and Buzz are characters that we've loved throughout the years, and they've been loyal to Andy, but you can tell it's honestly hard for them to kind of move on from Andy. And it's such a good story. Toy Story 3 I think will always be my favorite animated film. It's gonna be crazy if there is something that comes along and really does change my mind about Toy Story 3 and something that overpasses it. So there you guys have it, all 19 of the best animated feature film winners at the Oscars. How would you rank these movies? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming videos. My name is Just Watch Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.